everyone. Happy 2022. This is Balaji Gopalan from MedStack. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome again to the MedStack podcast. I'm very pleased to have PJ with me today from PeachyPay, talking about billing in healthcare and his amazing company, which I managed to meet at the HLTH conference last fall, and we've been tracking their progress ever since. PJ, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So I'd love to start it just by introducing your company. Maybe you can give a quick overview on how Peachy got started and what it is you guys do.
Yeah. So we got started because of a personal experience that my co-founder Lex and our CEO had, which is all too familiar in US healthcare for patients. She had a bill go to collections. And the only reason why she had this medical bill go to collections is because it went to the wrong address, went to an old apartment of hers. This happens a lot, like patient identification and patient demographics. Maintaining those patient demographics are a huge problem in the US. So she had this bill go to collections, and the only way she found out about it was when she was going to rent an apartment, and they ran her credit, and they were like, "Hey, you have this medical trade line on your credit report. We can't rent this apartment to you." And she was like, "Okay, I have to dig into this and figure it out." She figured it out. It was $140, which she would have like easily paid if she knew about it. And by the time she actually tracked it down to like who owned that piece of debt, it took her like days. And even then she had problems like paying it off. So obviously, like, she comes from the tech world. She's a designer. She's like, why hasn't this problem been solved? And she started reaching out to people, asking like, why hasn't this been solved? And like, what do we do about this? So she started talking to investors. She got a little investment interest. I met Lex shortly after. So she started building the product. I met her after. And she was already like down the road of like, okay, first we have to fix accessibility of the bill. It shouldn't be paper format, first of all, in 2021, 2022. Then usability of the bill. A lot of times you get these bills, they're very difficult to pay for, where like you have to enter like some 16-digit code. You have to identify all of your patient information. And if it's not perfect, it just cancels out. And you have no idea why. And then the third thing is affordability. We have a huge crisis in the US where, medical bills are kind of out of control. Medical costs are out of control. And even affording a $500 bill that you're not expecting is problematic for most people. So we want to be able to give very flexible payment options, whether that's payment plans to the provider or actually extending lines of credit directly to the patients.
Amazing. How long have you guys been at this, and where are you now in your journey?
So we started, Lex incorporated in December 2020. I joined in early 2021. So the company just turned one in December. Thank you. And we've actually made it pretty far. We started building very quickly, had an MVP ready to go in April of 2021. We launched the PeachyPay brand in April of 2021. And then we actually had customers on the platform by September. So we jumped into MVP, we started selling it, and we had customers on the platform in September. And now we're kind of like in this full like distribution mode where we're just like, expanding our customer base and adding features and functionality. So really exciting time.
Yeah, certainly is. That's great. And obviously a problem people are resonating with. Where are you deployed now, and kind of what does your expansion plan look like, especially for this year?
Yeah. So right now we've made a couple key integrations. So one, if you look like on our LinkedIn or on our site, we talk about Athena Health. Athena Health is one of the bigger EHR practice management systems out there. Really, they have like for healthcare at least, they have a pretty modern stack that you can integrate with. So we've gone ahead and built that out. We're in the marketplace today. So any Athena providers can access Peachy, and they can reach out to us and we can get that started. The other side of that, we've been talking to a lot of independent therapists and like coaches. This is like a booming market right now with everybody kind of leaving, their established or like larger company job and moving into this more independent practice. So we've been onboarding like all these coaches and therapists, which is really great to see because there aren't a lot of tools built for these types of people. All the tools have been really built for like enterprise grade or very large health systems. And what we're trying to do is make it very easy to get up and running on PeachyPay, so you can start billing patients almost immediately. We have a product called Peachy Lite, and it's a self-service product. So if you want to get up and running today, you can start sending bills out immediately.
That's fantastic. What's the product focus for the next little bit, and what plans do you guys have with the company?
Yeah, I mean, we have huge product plans for this year. Our thing is like, how do we make this product beneficial to both patients and providers? A lot of products you see are very like tailored towards the provider side because obviously that's where the money is.
Yeah.
And when we understand that, we want to make sure that we're patient first. Our founding story and kind of all of the team has their own experiences as patients, and we've all encountered this frustration with the healthcare system. We want to make sure that we're building for patients. So first and foremost, it's how do we enable and empower patients to make better decisions on how they pay for their care, and make sure, most importantly, that they understand what they're paying for, because that's not clear. So we're looking at a lot of things like, how do we make the default bill that comes from your provider? How do we expand that? And how do we make it almost like human terms, like human readable medical bills? And then the other side of that is making things very efficient for the provider. So there's like a lot of manual process involved on the provider side to send out bills and manage payment plans. We're looking at some very like creative ways on how do we bypass those manual processes, and like, how do we streamline it? So maybe the practice doesn't need to see a lot of this information where they're like stuck in the middle today. They're like essentially a middleman. So that's really what we're going to be focusing on for 2022.
That's amazing and really timely. I think with everything going on, there's going to be a lot of care that's shifting to smaller providers, shifting to the community, and shifting to as you say, patient driven. Amazing. You guys are on a fantastic journey. I'm really delighted to meet your company. Where can people find you?
So PeachyPay.com, PeachyPay on Twitter as well. We're very active on Twitter. My co-founder Lex and CEO, she's super active on Twitter, and that's actually how a lot of the team has come on board from Twitter.
Amazing. Wow.
So it's a very effective marketing tool for us. But yeah, PeachyPay.com. We have a great resource library for patients, which is expanded like almost every week. And then, we're announcing these new product features all the time.
Fantastic. PJ, I love what you guys are working on. Thank you very much for introducing PeachyPay for us and for our community. Good luck this year, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.